Debris and burnt-out vehicles litter the ground in the Iraqi city of Hilla, where the US military said it carried out airstrikes against Iran-aligned militants on Monday. At least one serviceman was killed, and 18 other people were wounded. Iraq's government condemned the strikes as a clear hostile act. Two Iraqi security sources said the strikes targeted the headquarters of Iraqi armed group Kataib Hezbollah in Erbil province, south of Baghdad. Iraq's central government has limited control over some Iran-backed factions. Mourners later carried the coffin of the fighter during the funeral in Baghdad. One of the attendees, Sheikh Fadel Al-Ghazi, said the airstrikes were a serious crime and a blatant violation of the sovereignty of the Iraqi state. The US strikes were retaliation for an earlier drone attack on an Erbil airbase in Iraq that left a US soldier in critical condition and wounded 2 others. The back-and-forth clash was just the latest example of how the Israel-Hamas war is rippling across the Middle East. The US is Israel's closest ally, and the conflict has turned US troops at bases in Iraq and Syria into targets. There are 900 US troops in Syria and 2,500 in Iraq to help advise local forces preventing the resurgence of Islamic State, or ISIS. The US military has already come under attack at least 100 times in Iraq and Syria since the Israel-Hamas war began in October. The latest unrest comes less than a week after US Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin returned from a trip to the Middle East, focused on containing efforts by Iran-aligned groups to broaden the Israel-Hamas war.
How's the conversation go with Prime Minister Netanyahu?
Who's going to pipe us on? And let's go ahead and pipe me on, and then I will introduce the Secretary. Sir, whenever you're ready.
And this carrier and crew are making history. Sometimes our greatest achievements are the bad things that we stop from happening. And at a moment of huge tension in the region, you all have been the linchpin to preventing a wider regional conflict.